by the power of this commitment to Him. I don't love you out of my desires or just the natural way. I'm deepening this love out of my love towards Him. Meaning that there is love and love. There is a way you deal with love at the periphery of your feelings, and there is love in the in-depth of your spiritual journey. We have to learn to love, and to love Him first. And the quality of our hope and the quality of our faith is based on this, is based on the way we are connected to Him and the way we are translating this love towards humanity. We have to deepen our love towards humanity if we want to serve humanity. When the Prophet ﷺ is telling us, because التوحيد لا إله إلا الله, it's also connected to Ya Ayyuhan Nas, humanity, one God and our humanity. But the way the Prophet ﷺ is telling us our connection to our brothers and sisters has to do with the quality that you have, that we have with Him. خيركم أنفعكم للناس. The best among you are the most useful for humanity, not only for Muslims. So you have to serve the Muslims in order to serve humanity, and you are serving humanity in order to serve the one. But that's not easy, because everything which is coming out of human beings, and you know the Quran, the way it is constructed now, and the order is not the chronological order, but there is one thing which was and is essential. The last surah in the Quran is telling you, mind you, if you rely on the people, you are going to be lost, because the people are going to make you lose hope in Him if you only hope in them. قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس. In you I put my trust, because I'm going to serve them, but if I serve them for them, they are going to destroy me. That's for you. My hope is in you. Tawakkul ala Allah. To put all your hope in Him, to not despair in humanity. Because even with your community, you have to serve your community, but it's a very difficult community. You always are facing people who are never completely happy. You're not going to appease and to make them happy. We are a community of al-qil wal-qal. We like talking, we like slander, we like talking, and even to the point that the Quran is saying, be careful, don't go as far as to eat the flesh of your dead brother. While at the same time you are very, very strict with halal meat. أيحب أحدكم أن يأكل لحم أخيه ميتا فكرهتموه. So humanity is not an easy dimension of who we are, and this is where we need to get that hope in Him. But there is something that I wanted to add to this. You know, in fact, it's very strange. Because at the end, if you come back to Him, all the natural references that you have are going to change. In fact, if you rely on Allah, the definitions of natural notions that you have in your life are going to change. So for example, power. Where is power? If you have one story, and Brother Altaf was talking about stories in the Quran, If you look at Fir'aun saying, أَنَا رَبُّكُمُ الْأَعْلَى, I am the one, I am God on earth. And Allah is sending Musa alayhi salam wa Harun alayhi salam, and He is saying both of them, وَقُلَا لَهُ قَوْلًا لَيِّنًا. So the arrogant he thinks that he has power, but I'm sending you with no power except one power, which is that you are relying on me. And the way you are going to talk to the arrogant is with the sweetness and the softness of the one who knows where is power. In your words. To the point that you go to the arrogant, and not only you are facing the arrogant with sweetness, with kindness, with softness, but at the same time you are expecting something out of your presence. He has power, and then you have the power to remind him the essential. وَقُلَ لَهُ قَوْلًا لَيِّنًا لَعَلَّهُ يَتَذَكَّرُ أَوْ يَخْشَى. Maybe he's going to come to remember. So not only you are facing the powerful, but power is not where he thinks power is. And even if, and this is something that our sister Dalia said yesterday, who is essential in our psychological way of dealing with hope and power, it's not wrong to be scared. What is wrong is the way you deal with the way you are scared. If you lose hope in him, your fear is going to dominate you. If you are scared and rely on him, your fear is going to dominate them with him. In the name of God. This is why we say, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Think about this. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In everything that I'm doing is saying, I do my best by the ultimate power in what I'm doing. It's him and only him. And by him, I'm going to succeed. This is hope. But this is not hope based on nothing. I do what I have to do. And this is what the Prophet said, إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُحِبُّ إِذَا عَمَلَ أَحَدُكُمْ عَمَلًا أَنْ يُتْقِنَهُ. Allah likes when somebody is doing something that you master what you have to do. So your hope is do what you have to do. But when you have done what you have to do, everything is possible. No fear. Nothing is impossible if you did what you had to do, and then you say, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. With him I can. So which is slightly different from Obama's slogan. Slightly, deeply, essentially different. But the point here is the terminology, the words that we are using, the notions that we are referring to. So, we are talking here about power, but we also are talking about success. 5 times a day, in Muslim majority countries, or even now at home, you listen, Hayya ala al-falah, come to success. But the meaning of success is completely different. So when you put your hope and you want to succeed, what is said, coming from the very deep spiritual tradition, success. So as much as power is in taqwa, is God consciousness, success has nothing to do with winning here. It's nothing to do with getting more money. No, success has to do with reaching the point where you live by your principles. This is success. Success is not in what you get, is in the peace you nurture. That's the success. So where there is no tension, there is a sense of what the philosophers were talking about when they were talking about happiness. And then Miskaway said, this happiness is coming from where the only way to be happy is when Allah loves you. That's the success. In kuntum tuhibbun Allah, and at the end is yuhibbukumullah. This is the success. This is where it's not visible, but it has an impact in your intimate life. So once again, you see here that it's not enough to hold with the notions, with the way the people are talking. You start with relying on Allah, and it's changed all the values that are visible first. And you know the one who said, we need a revolution with our values. It's strange. It's the philosopher, the German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche, who said, a transmutation of values. And what we are saying as Muslims said, when you come back to Allah, there is a transmutation of values in the substance of the values. So, power is not the power you think, success is not the success you think, and happiness has to do as Muslims not to be happy with what you have, but to be satisfied with who you are. That's another story. So this is a jihad against the consumerist society. Be happy with who you are and not with what you get. Happiness is not in what you have. So hope to get the peace, which is the inner peace, when you are satisfied with who you are, at peace with Him, at peace with yourself, at peace with the world. And this is why our religion is an act of faith. In Islam, there is Islam and there is Salamat al-Nafs. This is what we are talking about, and then you see here that when it comes to this, it's important. And there is also a last notion, and I have 7 seconds left. According to, but they took from me 30. Anyway. The point here is failure. Nelson Mandela once said, I never fail. Either I win or I learn. And that's exactly what is coming from our tradition. That you have to struggle, our life is about, but failure is when you lose hope in Him that something could happen out of this experience. Because a test is not a failure, a test that you are missing, a mistake that you are making, a sin that you are indulging in, these are not things that are your failure. The failure is when you think that there is no forgiveness, that there is no way for you to go beyond and to change, that you don't think that this is done because Allah loves you and He's telling you, out of this mistake there is a call, come back to me. You are not lost, you are called. Your sins are signs that He's still loving you. If in your mind you remember Him, if in your heart you still cry, if you cry, it means that He's not far. He is not far when you cry. He is not far from your tears. So this is where hope is. And this is where also what we need to get, that the richness that you are talking about, it's not the physical richness. You have to transform this. Allahumma nas'aluka tuqa wal-afafa wal-ghina wa hubb al-masakin. Al-ghina here is not to get money, it's the richness of the heart, to the point that we love the poor people. So when you love the poor people, we are rich, whatever we give. Transforming all the values. This is the great revolution, the spiritual revolution that we need, and our hope is in this revolution. And then we start working, then we start being active, but not in a simple way, say, you know what, I have my principle, I put my hope and say, Atawakkalu ala Allah. No, it's before even coming to this, it's a spiritual revolution. What are my notions? What are my principles? What is success? What is happiness? What is peace? What is failure? What it is to rely on Him and to say, if He is with me, whatever you decide, I'm going to win. Whatever is your decision, I'm going to win. Because with Him, there is no defeat. Even if apparently I fail, if I'm with him, I win. Well, no. Don't make me fail. Brothers and sisters, I'm just ending here. I just got that. Avia Siddiq is still in jail for something she hasn't done. And in this community, so many are just forgetting this. So you can make dua for her, but there is something which is clear. Ad-du'a wal-ibadah. This is what the Prophet ﷺ told us, that our faith in Allah is to pray and it's to our supplications. But there is one thing which is impossible: to supplicate, to ask Him when we are not doing what we have to do. The supplication of the coward are supplications that are not complete supplications. Something is missing. Do what you have to do. Remember the Bedouin who asked the Prophet, do I have to tie the camel or shall I rely on Allah? No, tie the camel first. Do what you have to do. So hope is a necessity. Transmuting and transforming all the values is a requirement. But nothing is possible if we don't do the job, if we don't do what we have to do. The courage of the people who rely on God, who speak the truth, who do what they have to do, and who understand that there will be no peace if there is no justice, that there will be no peace if there is no dignity, that the United States of America are not going to be at peace if in the jails of this country innocent people are psychologically tortured. Never ever. Do whatever you want, but if you are silent about this. Let me end with a story. One of our brothers, Mozambique, was in Guantanamo for 3 years. He was innocent. He was sent, and you know what happened in Europe, the extraordinary rendition, taking people, sending them in Syria, in Egypt to be tortured. This is our civilized countries, sending the people and asking the Arabs, torture them and give us the answers. That's our freedom. That's our democracy. That's the way we deal with people who are innocent. And he spent 3 years in jail. So there is one man for whom I have a great deal of respect, an American. It's not your president. I don't like people saying that they are going to close Guantanamo and they are keeping on tortures and jail for people who have done nothing. Can you just imagine 8 years in jail and we know that the people are innocent? And you want to walk on earth with dignity when you are the president of the United States of America? You have people innocent, we know it, it's known by everybody, and you keep them in for what? And there is one man. Mozambique went back to the UK, he's free. And you know who came to see him in the UK? A guardian from Guantanamo. He went there to visit him in the UK. It is one of the guardians that was helping him because he loved him, he liked him out of the dignity of a Muslim who is innocent in jail and still saying, I'm not going to give up. And they recorded the first encounter and he said to him, how does it feel to come to see me now in the UK when I have the keys of my home where you are going to sleep? The guy who came, the guardian, let me tell you something. 1,000 Obamas not doing what they have to do are less valuable in ethical terms than the Guardian who helped an innocent guy and went back to see him in the UK and say, I come in the name of our common humanity. This is where hope is, transforming the values and doing what we have to do. May Allah help us. Wallahu a'lam wa ala wa ahkam. Assalamu alaikum.